Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz.
Again.
Number 3.
Killing on live television.
The last 2 fights were way back in the day, back when these 2 guys were in their prime.
Yeah.
I believe Tito lost both fights, if I'm not mistaken. So to get revenge on Chuck Liddell, he had him come out of retirement as a 50-year-old, and Tito Ortiz absolutely starts Chuck Liddell, who should have never been let in that ring in the first place. And Tito Ortiz gets his redemption. I'm putting in air quotes, his redemption on Chuck Liddell. What did you guys think about this fight and this whole spectacle they put on?
I'm sorry to say, but it felt like the fight was really slow.
Why are we letting elderly people in the ring?
That's because the California State Athletics Commission sucks.
See, this is the problem. You should not be above 45 years old.
And they put CM Punk
in the state of California. In the state of California, in MMA or boxing, in a legitimate fighting sport, you should not be doing it.
They let Conor McGregor fight. I mean, no, sorry. Mayweather. He was like 40 years old.
Yeah, he's 41.
No, Mayweather
42.
wins. That's the difference. Mayweather still, the way he fights, he's in such good shape that he doesn't get hit, so he can fight till he's probably 55 if he wants to and can still win, right? Chuck Liddell is 48. Excuse me, I said 50. But see, that's what he looked like, a 70-year-old in the ring.
He's actually 50?
He's 48.
Oh, 40.
Yeah, he's 48.
Oh, close to 50 then.
But out of the game for 8 years. And he wasn't necessarily that good when he was in the game 8 years ago either.
Well, he's kind of one of the
career.
people who put UFC on the map.
No,
though.
true, but
he was.
Help.
Yeah, that's very
help.
yeah, exactly. That's
He
very true.
contributed, yeah.
But Ric Flair ain't wrestling for the WWE anymore, and he put wrestling on the map. And Hulk Hogan ain't wrestling in WWE because he put you know what I'm saying? These guys are older. They have actual brain damage, and they actually hit each other, which unlike it happens in wrestling, so you can be a little older, right? Unless your initials are CB. But nonetheless, Chris Benoit. Did you not get it the first time?
I didn't get that.
Chris Benoit.
I didn't get that.
I don't like mentioning the
Just
guy's
say Chris
name.
Benoit,
You know,
dude.
we were just talking shit on like Tekashi 6ix9ine and
Just say the
and
full name.
Amore, and Benoit just did a little bit of a worse thing, right? You
Just
know.
say the full name,
Yes.
dude.
Yeah.
Just say Chris.
Okay, Chris. I'll say Chris.
Chris Benoit.
Yeah, Benoit. Exactly. Stop saying it there.
Dude, there's no shame.
Yes, there is. No, but nonetheless, Chuck Liddell should have never been let in the ring. That's what I thought. Do you guys think that these athletic commissions should allow these fights to happen where it's clearly a money grab for the guys? And you don't. I mean, Chuck Liddell could have got killed.
They could care less about our opinions. All they care about is just the name brands, because let those 2 names let alone, they all know that it's going to sell. It doesn't matter how old they are. So as long as that those names sell, then that's what matters. And then later on, they'll figure out what they'll do with Liddell and freaking Ortiz. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Eric. There is absolutely no reason to do this unless you are concerned about the brand.
Yeah.
And how much did this fight do? Like, if this fight did well, then it was well worth it. I mean, we're
I'll check it
talking
out
about
when
it
we
right
talk.
now in the Ring General, so it must have did something.
I mean, as soon as I heard about that fight taking place, I just thought to myself, again?
But anytime I see 3 on something with the fight, it's just like, you can't do something else. You gotta go back to the well 3 times, bro. 3 times.
It's kind of like the same.
Twice is acceptable. 3
It's
times
kind
is enough.
It's kind of like when Pacquiao went up against Marquez for 5 times. I think they went in 5 times, and I said, guys, just give it a rest. And then until freaking Marquez knocked him out, that's when I knew that it's over. Guys, just throw in the towel. But for this one, for Liddell and Ortiz, just throw in the towel, guys. It's over.
Yeah, it's Golden Boy Promotions putting on MMA fight. Golden Boy Promotions is a boxing thing. It's Oscar De La
Well, De La
Hoya.
Hoya, he's now
Oscar.
he's now in the MMA business, from what he said.
Well, this is a pretty shitty way to join the MMA business because
Yeah.
Tito Ortiz Tito Ortiz actually has fought recently and he starts Chael Sonnen and all these other people. So Tito Ortiz could actually still fight, although he did say he was retired after
He's
this fight.
what, 40? 41?
He's around. He's in his 40s for sure, but I can't find a number of what the pay-per-view buys were. But this fight was so big that in the Forum in Los Angeles, the Great Western Forum, that holds 17,000 people. They got a whopping 7,000 people in there to watch this fight. So, you know what I'm saying?
What's the whole point of doing this fight, man?
I had a friend there.
Did you?
How
My
much?
friend. Yeah.
You
How
probably
much did you
getting
pay
it
for the
cheap.
fight?
I don't know. He actually got a pretty good seat. You know,
That's probably because it cost $5. It's like close.
Yeah.
probably. I'll have to get in
You get a
contact
McDonald's cheeseburger more expensive than that fight. You get
Yeah.
with them. McFlurry.
Is it Big Mac meal or is it Tito Ortiz Chuck Liddell 3? Yeah,
I'm going for the Big Mac, bro.
Rather go to Popeyes.
exactly. But
What's the hamburger? The chicken McNugget.
this was kind of a joke. I'm disappointed in the California State Athletic Commission that they'd ever let a fight like this happen. Why Chuck Liddell was cleared to fight. I mean, I remember there was a lot of guys on Twitter saying before the fight, you'd see Chuck Liddell doing his shadow boxing before he's doing it and people taking pictures and just acting like a robot. And they said Chael Sonnen. I remember. I keep mentioning the guy's name because he says a lot of funny stuff.
Yeah.
Chael Sonnen said, I've never seen somebody lose a shadow boxing match until I saw Chuck Liddell do it. So he lost to Air before the fight. I don't even know how he lasted 4 minutes in this fight. The fight ended in,
Chael
424.
Chael Sonnen says a lot of shit, but at the end of the day, he's actually right on this one.
No, he is. It just sucks, and I hope we don't see other guys in the future fighting these fights. It's just a money grab. The Bellator Heavyweight Grand Prix is different. Okay, that is legitimate heavyweight fighters. They're a little past their prime, but they're not bad, and they just don't. They can't get booked on the UFC cards anymore. And I believe the fight is Ryan Bader versus Fedor Emelianenko, the heavyweight Bellator Grand Prix fight. And those are two legitimate badass guys.
Yeah,
not in their primes, but it's still a great fight.
Who were once pretty well known in the UFC. If anything, Bellator is most known for the UFC rejects, if anything.
No, and that's what this is in a way, but it's different.
I understand.
It's different because they're actually, besides putting Kimbo Slice and all these people in there.
No, rest in peace, Kimbo Slice.
Absolutely.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, but it's just this Liddell Ortiz thing is a little too far because these guys are. I mean, they were fighting in before 2010. They weren't even fighting in this decade.
They're not really relevant.
Yeah, so they're old. It's not, so.
They were fighting before Twitter. When you're fighting before Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, when you're fighting before MySpace, you shouldn't be allowed in a ring in 2018.
I fully agree.
Yeah.
I fully agree.
Oh,
but, yeah, so hopefully we don't have any of this more, but I'm excited a little bit for that Bellator, that next Bellator. That's a good fight. Now, I remember even guys like Joe Rogan and them were talking about that fight coming up. That is not what this was.
Excited.
Yeah, this was a complete money grab, $200,000 for Tito Ortiz. And
how much did Liddell make?
I think they both made the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what happens with De La Hoya promotes it.
Yeah.
I mean, they both came out with $250,000, so I mean.
Well, but then Chuck Liddell's gonna have to spend that $250,000 on medical fees after getting knocked out.
That's true.
Excuse me for my language.
And they buried the hat trick, right? They buried
Mark the time.
Mark the time.
46 minutes.
Okay, 46.